Welcome to Annapolis Mosaics. Our program spotlights people in the community who are involved in activities designed to promote good human relations. I am Michael Keller, the chair of the Annapolis Human Relations Commission and your host. The Commission is a city board that seeks to promote equal opportunity and to eliminate discrimination. My guest today is Ellen Moyer, who is the board chair of the Annapolis Community Foundation and former mayor of the city of Annapolis.
That's
Ellen,
right.
Ellen, welcome to Annapolis Mosaics.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, let's just start off by looking at what the mission of the Annapolis Community Foundation is. What's it all about?
Well, I'll tell you that. We're unique, actually. There are not too many people or groups, organizations that do what we do.
Okay.
We maintain what's called an umbrella nonprofit. So for new groups that or people that have an idea, they have a board, they want to do something for a cause or that they care about, but they don't have the money, and they have not become their own nonprofit. It costs a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It's about a year process, a 94-page application, and that lawyers do, and it costs money to become a nonprofit. So while they're in that infant stage, so to speak, we provide that cover for them, that nonprofit cover. They become affiliated with the Annapolis Community Foundation, and they do their own fundraising. The money goes into the Annapolis Community Foundation in an account in their name, and then we do all the reporting to the IRS and to the state and all the other agencies that you have to report to when you're a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. So there aren't any other groups that I am aware of that do that. Somebody this weekend suggested to me, oh yeah, there's one up in Connecticut, but when I checked the one in Connecticut, it's a full-fledged a full-fledged nonprofit that gives grants to other nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so you really work with organizations that are sort of not ready to become nonprofits.
They're not ready, and some of the ones.
And why? Why are they not ready?
Because it's expensive.
Okay.
And it's very time consuming, but They want to move forward. Mm-hmm. Some of the more recent groups that people would recognize their name of that were affiliates with us were Green Drinks, Green Annapolis. They've changed their name. The Back Creek Conservancy. They all started under the umbrella because they were anxious to move forward. They were anxious to do things. They were anxious to go after grants and or sponsors. And so while they were going through this very laborious and expensive process to become their own thing, to fly away, if you will, from the community foundation, we provided that cover for them. We do provide cover in other ways. For instance, if a city commission gets a grant, grants have to go to a nonprofit. They can't go into the city operating fund.
Right.
So they have to go to a nonprofit. So we provide for that group, whether it's the Recreation Board or the Art and Public Places Commission or the Stanton Center, frankly, we provide that cover for them for their grant money to go to a nonprofit. There are short-term things. People have an idea they're not going to stay around for a long time, but they want to do a fundraiser for a cause. They're not a nonprofit, but they care about a particular thing. And so that is an in and out. We provide that dollar support for them, for their sponsors, so that they can claim their nonprofit status for whatever the cause is that they're promoting on a 1 or 2 or 3 time thing. We may remember that there was a group that just temporarily wanted to do some fundraising for cancer. And so they came under our umbrella. That was probably a decade ago, but they came under that umbrella. And in times past, the state, sister cities wouldn't be cities, sister countries, whatever you want to call it. They had a special program. They've used our nonprofit also. So we've been around for a while, and not too many people know about us. We're not the same as the county, which has the county group, which has a very, executive director and a staff and lots of big money. We're not in that category.
Yeah, but you help little organizations, though.
Pardon?
And you help little organizations.
We help little organizations.
People who are trying to, ultimately move on to higher
Yes.
levels down the line, and you basically support them.
Yes.
Otherwise, they might not come into existence at all,
That's true.
or be able to sustain
Right.
themselves.
Right. Grow Annapolis is another one that started,
Okay.
and in fact, if you go to our website, www.annapoliscommunityfoundation.org, you can see a list of groups that since 2002, so we've been around for a while, that have affiliated, with us, and then gone on eventually to become their own entity.
And when an entity becomes no longer financially dependent on you, they simply become then a nonprofit. And
They become their own nonprofit. Whatever money they have left in their affiliate account, that goes with them, and they're off and running.
Okay. Now you mentioned earlier that you work with issues with IRS and the like. How does this relate to an organization getting their 501c3 status, which is, of course, the golden brick that
that's right. But
every nonprofit
has
sees.
yes.
Yeah, if you don't have that, you're in trouble.
Well, that's the long process.
Yeah.
That's the 94-page application, and then
Yeah.
going through the approval process that comes that a legal attorney does, and that costs usually $5,000 or more to do. So and then once they're their own entity, they do all that paperwork.
Now, does a foundation have donors per se?
Pardon, have what?
Donors.
Yes, we do. We also
Okay,
have
what role do they play?
Well, contribution that is not a part of affiliate contribution,
Right.
but directly to the Annapolis Community Foundation. And then we use that money to give grants to these small startups. This year, we've given small grants to the Eastport mural for the 150th anniversary. If you're driving down Forest Drive, going past the school, you might notice on the chain link fence there beginning to be artwork done by the students in the school and promoted by SOFA, which is the business association for the Forest Drive group, the ones who promote movies, if you will, in the summertime, and have taken on a project of planting plants across from the gas station. Well, they promote it with the school and working with the art teachers, art along. So we've contributed to that also. This last Sunday, the last Art in the Park, not Art in the Park, the last first Sunday, it's like Art in the Park.
Yeah.
We had we had gotten some contributions. We didn't solicit for them, but we got them after June 28th, 2018. And so we had some money that we wanted to contribute to the to the Capital 5. And what we chose to do was to give away oak trees, because the oak has a really, really long, centuries-old memory of being a symbol of strength and endurance. It is, by the way, our national tree. 204 Congress adopted the white oak as its national symbol, and it is our state tree. And so popular is it that other countries and other states and other cities have also adopted the oak as a symbol for strength and endurance. And so we gave away little babies, oak trees, to people who wanted to, have a memorial to honor, if you will, the people who were that were massacred on June 28th, 2018. We gave away about 125 trees. We still have few left over. So if anybody wants a memorial tree, an oak tree, either a red oak or a bi oak or a white oak, get in touch with me.
The aspect to the, as I'm hearing you talk about the foundation, what I follow is that when you get money from donors, that money goes directly out to deserving organizations that you really don't serve as a bank or anything like that.
Because money goes in a bank.
Well, of course it goes in a bank, but the outflow of it is direct. In other words, if someone contributes to the Annapolis Community Foundation, that they can be assured that their dollars are going to be put to use in support of a fledgling organization that's seeking to become a nonprofit.
That is correct, and you know, and other causes, you know, also make contact us with and say, hey, you know, we're doing this. Our grants are small. You know, we're talking about up to $2,000, maybe $2,500. They're small grants, but it's enough to get a group moving, moving faster. And we have had sponsors under Friends of the Arts contribute money to AIPPC's new art book, Art in the City of Annapolis, which is this year almost 80 pages long. And still we've missed new art that's going up every month, it seems, in the city of Annapolis. It's descriptive, it's historical, tells the background of, and so we've contributed to. Sponsors contributed to that book, to that book, which would be a sample of a in and out, if you will.
Who are some of your current affiliates? Give some examples. Or viewers would say, well, who are the affiliates of the Annapolis Community Foundation?
Okay, let's see. We've got some new ones that are coming on board too.
Okay, well, mention that.
Okay, there is a new group in town called the Year of the Woman. This is the year this whole year that women worked hard to get the right to vote. And so this particular group is planning a number of activities that begins in January, for banners, for programs in the schools that educate people about, what life was like before you had the right to vote, speakers, movies, libraries, book clubs. All of that is coming up. So they are a new affiliate with the, and the chair of that group is Veronica Tovey, who is also the publisher of What's Up magazine. So they're a new group coming on. And over in Eastport, you've got a volunteer group called Neat Streets. They come out and they paint the curbs red and they landscape, to make a difference, if you will. It's about making a difference. And they've got some people who now want to contribute to them. So this is a new group that will probably be affiliated with the Community Foundation. You may remember in the past a group called Jacob's Ride. Jacob didn't have any hearing, and he got cochlear transplants, and that made a world of difference for him, after his hearing failed when he was a young kid. He did a mission 3 or 4 years ago of riding his bike around the country and going to baseball games, spreading the word about the value of cochlear transplants, and he raised over $100,000, which he gave to the Johns Hopkins, which went then to Johns Hopkins, who are the hearing people. But they still do things, and Jacob has become quite a speaker at different universities and places in medical schools. So they're still affiliated with, with the ACF and working towards their own much broader, their own nonprofit. They just haven't gotten there yet. So those are several. Harold Harbor Community Association is another group. They they didn't have any recreation program properties at all for young kids in Harold Harbor. And if you know the history of Harold Harbor, at one time it was like the Coney Island of the Chesapeake Bay of this area. It was all about fun and games. Well, there were no fun and games, and so they have a person who said, we need to change this. And they sponsored a run. They sponsor a run every year, and they raise money for equipment that kids can have, and a pavilion so they can have birthday parties on site. They can go down the slide, they can swing, and so they are an affiliate with us also. We've got about 10 affiliates at the present time.
Right, and you made reference earlier, and I'll give you a chance to elaborate on it, the Annapolis Green.
Yeah. Elvia and Thompson, and you've probably interviewed her, but way back when they first got started, they were under the umbrella of the ACF, Annapolis Community Foundation.
Well, how many organizations total has the Community Foundation assisted?
Holy cow.
I don't want a precise number, but just give our viewers a sense of the breadth of the organization.
If you go down the list on our website, it's up to 60, 50, 75. Yeah. We've given, varying amounts of money over the 10 years in small grants. Remember, small grants of about $125,000 out of starters, to some of the groups that were coming that were out there. So. We'd like to do more in the grant department, but that depends on, we take, but there is an administrative fee. So if you raise money as an affiliate, 5% of that money is going to go to us to file all those reports with all of the groups that you need to file them with. And if there's any, and then so some of that goes into what's the ACF fund for grants. But direct donors, as in Tuesday Giving Tuesday.
Yes, Giving Tuesday.
Giving Tuesday. Yeah. And we have gotten, contributions in the past. We're not very big on marketing. We don't have an executive director. We have a team of 8 people, and everybody volunteers and contributes their time or their skill to whatever we need, and their legal skill, their accounting skill. Their feet on the ground skill, their feet on the ground skill, their ideas. And we meet about 4 times a year, actually. So that's us.
How does the granting process work?
The what?
How does the grant process work?
The grant process.
People want to apply for a grant. What do they have to do?
Just send a statement. Well, there are 2 different processes. One, if you want to become an affiliate, you send a letter that states your mission and states who your board is or your chair and your contact system, and what it is that, what are your goals for the group that you want to form. Very simple process, just a letter comes to us at Post Office Box 5736, zip code 21403, and that opens the door for affiliation. The same is true for a grant. If you want a grant, you send a statement, a letter that says, we are in the process of planning this event and for this purpose, and can you help us move forward or get started? So it's a simple process. In our brochure, this particular brochure, which really is an introduction to, hey, have an idea for a new nonprofit to benefit a cause that interests you but have no idea how to get started, talk with us. And there is a form in this brochure that says, here's how to contact us and tell us these things. And therefore, so this is a way to, to contact us. If you can pick up some of these brochures. These new ones are hot off the press again. So I think there may be some at 49 West. But we haven't done the circuit and put a lot more of them out, but there is an application in here, for affiliation or or contacting us to talk about what it is that you have in mind.
What aspect to the Annapolis Community Foundation have you found to be most rewarding in terms of your involvement? What feature, what type of program? In other words, what aspect to this thing which you basically created has given you the greatest sense of satisfaction?
Well, I think it's, from the ACF perspective, it's, there's so many good people in our community that have rich ideas, and those rich ideas in an institutional or bureaucratic setting can just, yeah, that's nice, but they just kind of fly away. I mean, they don't get attended to, and so being able to embrace, if you will, the enthusiasm and the spirit and the idea of people who believe in public service, believe in service for a particular, good cause. That brings a richness to the community, and so, what can I say but other than the fact that it's enriched our community to have so many different groups engaged and involved. It's engagement of people in the things that make a difference in our lives. It's just really, really good.
Well, the website of the Annapolis Community Foundation states that it offers the community, and I quote here, a forum for leadership on important issues in the city. Could you cite some examples of how the foundation has served in this capacity?
Well, sure. Let's look at the Back Creek Conservancy. Back Creek had all of our creeks over time had some sort of group that worked with them for environmental, and to clean up the water, et cetera. So the Back Creek Conservancy certainly was one. That has now, over time, now merged with the Severn River Association. So, so that's, that is one more recent group that I can cite that I think answers your question. Maybe. Yeah.
But do you have other issues that you can identify?
Oh, yeah. Any of our, current affiliates.
Okay.
We work with a group that does a run every year to benefit diabetes. I've mentioned Harold Harbor, and I've mentioned, the Stanton Friends of the Stanton Center.
Yeah.
Let me go back and look at our brochure here and be sure I don't leave anybody out. The International Academy of Local Government was really related to sister cities. And then we also have a little bit of money for the Maryland Historic Horse Trails. The Agriculture Department, Maryland Horse Industry Board had one time that thought that they would like to put together, this is not riding horses, but the story of the horse in different places. And the first one that was done, that I was a part of, was for Worcester County. And we did the history over the last 300 years, of 300 and more, of the horse in Worcester County. And it won a prize, actually, from the state tourism group. So they needed a count. The Mayor of Berlin and a couple of other groups that contributed some money, and so they have an account to help, print their brochure in Worcester County. There are other, Southern Maryland has done its horse trail. I've done Annapolis's, but it's not published yet, or it's not on the internet yet. So that's I don't know where I was going with this, other than the diversity of the groups that are associated, with us. That look, they don't have any full-time people; they're volunteer people, and their time is limited, and they're working for an issue that they care about for their particular. So even though we're the Annapolis Community Foundation, there are groups outside of Harold Harper being another one, and also Iran being another one that are outside of this. They're not stationed here. Their volunteers are not here. They're outside of the city of Annapolis.
Well, I'm certain that many of our viewers are going to be interested in learning more about the Annapolis Community Foundation, and I suspect there are some folks out there who say, hey, this is a great organization to donate to, or my organization needs help. So what was your website again?
I didn't mention the Justin Fischel Memorial Fund, which was a fund that was created after a tragic accident to gain money to help those that were so negatively impacted, and they still do. They still do things for the family. So I think sometimes the Filmster Scholarship Fund is affiliated with us, and we do some stuff with a Chesapeake High School robotics group in their scholarship fund. So, all of those programs they're small, they're governed by volunteers, they have a particular cause and make a dramatic impact in the issue that they're working on.
Yeah. How can groups get in touch with you? You had mentioned your website earlier. Could you state it again?
Yeah, the website is www.AnnapolisCommunityFoundation.org. That's one. Our address is Post Office Box 5736 in Eastport. That's 21403. So they could do that. Or you can directly call me or text me at 443-370-1785.
Thank you for viewing our program today, and please join us again on Annapolis Mosaics. If you would like more information about the Annapolis Human Relations Commission, jot down the information on your screen. You can reach us at 410-263-7998 or by email at hrcommission@annapolis.gov, or check out our page at the City of Annapolis website. Go to www.annapolis.gov, click on the city government icon, then Boards and Commissions, and you can scroll down to the Human Relations Commission page. And always remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "We have flown the air like birds and swum the seas like fishes, but we have yet to learn the simple act of walking the earth as brothers and sisters."